Hey everybody, Kyle Sasser here, and it's everyone's favorite time of the month. That's right, market statistics time. These statistics are for July 2022 for Hillsborough County. So you're probably asking yourself, Kyle, why are these statistics a month behind? We're at the end of August, why are we looking at July? And the reason why is because it takes a bit of time for the local realtor boards to put together the stats in these beautiful reports and get them out to everybody. The other thing to know is that we do not compare month to month. So we are not comparing July 2022 to June 2022 because the normal course of a year, there's natural highs and lows of real estate transactions. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to compare month to month. So generally speaking, we compare July 2022 to July 2021. And that's really the best way to kind of get an overall feeling of the current state of the market. Now, those of you that have watched the last few videos, you know that there is a change afoot. So after years and years of shrinking inventory, we've actually reversed that trend for the last 3 months now. We've actually added more inventory than we've taken away. And we go over the full ramifications of all this at the end of the video, so be sure to stay tuned to the end. But just know that by and large, that trend has continued and continues to accelerate. So these statistics are for Hillsborough County. Let's dive in. Let's see what's going on here. So total number of closed sales, there's a total of 1,605, which was a decrease of 22.6%. So there are fewer homes being sold, fewer closed sales, fewer actual houses being sold. Now the interesting thing with that is that the median and average sales price is still extremely high. So everyone's dancing around about, there's a price crash in progress, and that is not the case. That is not held out by at least the year-to-year average and median sales price. Median sales price was up 25.1% to a total of $437,750. Average sales price was up 28.8% to a total of $545,230. If you want to know the difference between average and median, basically just know that average can be swayed by very expensive or inexpensive properties going up for sale if there's more than usual that sell. And median sales price is effectively the middle point of the market, where there is an equal number of homes for sale at a higher price point and an equal number for sale at a lower price point. But both of those are still up significantly compared to July 2021. Total dollar volume is actually, so it's held steady. It's down 0.3%, which is effectively steady at 875 million. However, compared to a few months ago when Hillsborough actually sold more than $1 billion worth of homes in 1 month, we are down from that price point. Median time to contract has continued to increase, and median time to contract is really the one that I'm watching because that is usually what dictates what the price is going to do. I'll go into that a little bit more detail towards the end of the video, but median time to contract is up 60% from 5 days to 8. Number of new listings, which is another key ingredient in here. So the number of new listings is actually held steady. It actually only went down 0.8%. for a total of 2,401. So we're really listing the same number of houses as we were in July 2021. The problem is we're listing the same number of homes as in 2021, but the number of closed sales is down 25%. So we are just piling on inventory. There's a lot more houses that are hanging around for a little bit longer. And that shows up in the total number of active listings here, which is up 95.2% in Hillsborough County. So it's almost double the amount of homes for sale in current active inventory compared to July 2021. And that number was 3,487, and that 2021 number was 1,786. Now, I do like to dive into the various price points because a $250,000 house is going to sell for a little bit different time frames than $1 million house. Honestly, I have sold both. And the marketing is a little different for both, but the main difference is usually time frames. I'm not going to go over every one of these numbers in detail. If you want the full report, there's a link down below where you can click. It'll take you to the website and you can download the full report there as well. You can also sign up for monthly reminders whenever this video gets produced. Historically, the interesting thing over the last couple of years has been where the price break has been. Basically, there's a price where lower than that price, there has been fewer and fewer and fewer homes for sale that are selling, that are going up for sale. And then above that price point, there has been more and more and more and more. And the reason why is because houses have slid up into higher price brackets quickly, which really kind of skews these numbers historically, at least so far as the same house goes. So it's not that we're building a lot of new $600,000 houses. It's just, all the houses that were $400,000 have now slid up into that, $600,000 plus category. So $200,000 to $250,000, there were 77% fewer houses that sold, total of 39. $250,000 to $300,000, there were 76% fewer houses sold, total of 84. Then we hit that price break, and then at $400,000 to $600,000, there was 26.2% more homes for sale, total of 646. And then $600,000 to $1 million, there was 44.8% more homes for sale, total of 262. Median time to contract is also, I don't usually go over that, but there's some pretty crazy numbers in here. So homes that were priced $100,000 to $150,000 are currently on the market for about 31 days before they get a contract. That is an increase of 416%. $50,000 to $100,000, it was an increase of 231.3% for a total of 53 days. They're under $50,000, total of 117 days. Here's the thing to know with that. The reason why is because those houses are, from what I've been able to see, basically just complete disasters. So, and they're still trying to get like extreme top dollar for them. So that's why those numbers are skewed the way they are. Most of the rest of the price points, $150,000 to $200,000 is at 7 days, $200,000 to $250,000 is at 14 days, which is 2 weeks. Starting to get a little interesting there. The shortest we were on that was around like 4 or 5 days. And so we're now up to 14 days. So that's 3 to 4 times longer to sell a house. Normal market conditions, quote unquote, 30 to 60 days to sell a house. Not any time in the last 3 years, but if you look back, 4, 5, 6 years, you'll see 25 to 45 time to contracts for these price points. And then like the 1 million plus would be like 60 plus days. 400 to 600,000, that was up 60% for a total of 8. Again, compared to the madness of February through April, we have doubled or tripled those time frames. However, compared to normal market conditions, things are still extraordinarily quick in Hillsborough County. The other thing to know about this is that these numbers are from basically 2 months ago. So these numbers are only calculated off of closed sales. And if a closed sales means that the contract was actually written 30 to 40 days ago, usually. So you can see that we're actually, with this statistics, we're actually getting insight into June. There's not really a good way that I've found to pull up like current stats for this because there's so much variability in when stuff gets input and updated and all that stuff. With pending listings, it's not something you really want to trust, but anecdotally I can say that those time frames are even longer than that now. Looking at total inventory by list price, again, we have that price break. It's moved down a little bit to $300,000. So in the $300,000 to $400,000 mark, there are 83.4% more homes for sale compared to 2021. Total of 842, 400 to 600,000. There was 262.5% more homes for sale. Total of 1,294. I'll go over what all that means and what sort of time frames we have for, expected, like actual price decreases, not just Zillow saying there was a price decrease. I'll go over all that in the next section. Last page is the doom and gloom page. So this is short sales, foreclosures, bank-owned properties. There's a lot of predictions on this that, once the eviction and foreclosure moratorium was lifted, that we would just have a overwhelming flood of distressed properties. That is not the case. That's not what's been happening here. So total number of short sales was actually down 88.9% from a total of 9 to 1. There was 1 short sale last month in Hillsborough County. And number of foreclosures was up 80%, and that increased from 5 to 9. Not a lot going on with the short sales and foreclosures still. All right, so let's read the tea leaves here a little bit. So one, how did I know that there wasn't going to be a lot of foreclosures and short sales? And the answer is when prices are increasing as fast as they had been, the simple math is that even if you bought a house like 8 months ago, more than likely you would have enough equity in that house that you could sell it and actually put some money in your pocket. And so most people, when faced, even if they fall on hard times, they are able to fall back on selling that house, putting some money in their pocket, and walking away free and clear. Foreclosures and short sales usually only happen when there's no options. And so where we're at currently is we're currently at this peak and leveling period. Median average sales price has kind of bounced back and forth within about a $10,000 range for the last few months. Versus previous year or two, it has been a steady increase. Nothing unusual other than it is a change from the preceding norm. Now, everyone's talking about all these price reductions and all this stuff on Zillow and Realtor.com. You know, it shows a big number there, you know, price reduced $30,000. Price reduced $20,000. So everyone's freaking out. They think the market's crashing. That is not what's happening. And that's backed up by those average and median sales prices. And by checking the month-to-month median and average numbers. So we've actually held within a $10,000 band. What's happening with those price reductions are, so the first part of this year, the way that you would price a house is you would basically have to price it way out ahead or higher than you could currently prove on the market and see if someone would be willing to buy the house at that price. And it worked great for 2 to 3 months. You could get away with that. What's happening now is people are still trying to do that, not realizing that the market circumstances has changed. You cannot do that anymore. Your house will sit there. So far as true price reductions, which is going to be an actual trend of declining average and median sales price, that is still going to be months and months and months, and maybe even years down the road from this point if this current trend continues. And here's the reason why. If you look at statistics, most houses sold within the last, 2-ish years have been in the 2 to 4% interest rate price point. And that is crazy good money, and the rental market is still very good. So there's not going to be an overwhelming amount of pain here in the immediate future, unless there's like some major economic catastrophe and tons of people get laid off. Then I'll be doing another one of these videos, doing a little update here. So people got really good deals on their mortgages. People are going to try to hold on to that. Natural human outlook for real estate is no one wants to sell a piece of real estate for less than what they paid for it. The only way that people get to the decision that they need to sell for less than what they paid for it or what they think it is worth is if it is on the market. And this goes back to that time for contract, that time to contract, which I said that is actually the key indicator that I'm paying attention to. The only time that people decide to sell for less than they think that the home is worth is if they have tried to sell that house for a very long period of time and it did not sell. And the normal time frame for that, like I said, if you remember that 30 to 45 days, that is still a seller's market, but that is like normal market conditions. 40 to 60 days is kind of like a neutral-ish market. And then once you get to like, 70, 80, 90 days, that is buyer's market. So when you have buyer's market, that is when prices start to come down. Current time to contract is sitting at, official stats has it at 10, 12, 13 days. Anecdotally, I would say that it's currently hanging around like 18, 19, 20, meaning that homes are still selling pretty quickly, not nearly as quickly as they were like 6 months ago, but that's okay. Because if it goes under contract within a month, that still does not stress sellers out to the point to where they are willing to go below what they believe the house is worth. Long story short, the TLDR on that is that there's not enough pain for sellers currently to really start seeing a drastic decline in housing prices. And that is going to be the case for a very long time. If you wanted me to put a time period on it, I would say I would not expect to see any sort of decline, at least for like 6, 9, even a year. Because if you look at historically, the last crash that we had, so let's say that happened like, 2007-ish, it wasn't really until mid to late 2008 that you start to notice that housing prices start a slow decline. And then it took 3 to 4 years until 2011 for those prices to really come down to 30 to 40% of that highest peak. Suffice to say, explaining all that just because there's a lot of stuff flying around. There's a lot of online articles, people not really understanding how real estate works, that are basically just repeating things or trying to apply stock market stuff. It kind of works, but you have to extend the time frames out a very long time. The honest truth is, if you've been thinking about buying a house or making a change in your life, it's like take action on that decision today, because the alternative is, you're going to be waiting like 9 months to a year. That's not guaranteed that prices are going to come down at all, because everyone that owns a house is going to be fighting reducing, the sales price on those houses. If you've been thinking about making the move, improving your lifestyle, if you're ready for a change, just make the decision, set your budget, stay within your budget, and buy the best house that meets your lifestyle that you want to live, and make that positive choice in your life. I promise you, even if, worst case scenario, even if the market turns against you a little bit, if you buy a home that you're absolutely in love with, you're not really going to be too upset about it, So it's definitely not the worst thing in the world to, to own a house that you're in love with. So anyway, thank you for tuning in. This has been Market Statistics for July 2022. My name is Kyle Sasser. If you're interested in finding your own home, I'd be happy to help you out. You can reach me at 813-323-7396. You can also email me at kyle@sassergroup.com. If you want a copy of this report, like I said, you can hit the link below. There's a link to the webpage. You can sign up. I'll email it to you. If you don't have email and you have a phone, you can call me and I will print this out and mail it to you. I promise. Put me to the test. Other than that, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.